So, some people walk into the room and you notice them because of what they're wearing. Others you notice because of how they make you feel. And then there are those not raw, but rare few whose presence is so magnetic. You feel it before they even speak. The kind of woman who carries equal parts of authority and artistry, blending creativity and a mission bigger than herself. Today, that's who's going to be sitting with us. A woman whose work has touched red carpets, living rooms, and everything in between. So before we get into who she is, what's happening at Black Girl Sunscreen, Kimberly?
Yeah, I want to talk about some of the things that we've been doing and, just to bring awareness to the brand. So we've had some pop-ups that we did in partnership with Ulta here in Los Angeles. We went to some stores, met with consumers, introduced our products to them, let them experiment and try the product on, had a lot of fun doing it. And then also our continued focus on our TikTok lives. So again, we're interacting with consumers, talking about the products, educating them about the products. So I just want to remind our listeners that we're going to continue to do these things this year and to be sure to tune in and participate in our Go Lives on Instagram and on TikTok, and to also just keep their eye open, because when we are popping up in Ulta or other retailers, we're going to let them know via our socials.
That's right. SPF Society every Friday at 3 p.m. Then we go live on TikTok 3:30.
Yep.
This is all PT. 30 minutes of Shontay, 30 minutes of the marketing team.
Yeah.
And then your local Ulta. Come say hello, get some cotton candy, get some flowers, get some
coconut
sunscreen.
water.
Support us. Support us.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So, Kimberly, who do we have sitting next to us today?
Yes. So today's guest is a true powerhouse in the world of beauty. An Emmy Award-winning hairstylist, dedicated mother, entrepreneur, author, whose talent has shaped red carpets, runways, and households across the country. You may know her work from hit television shows or her thought leadership in redefining beauty standards, but behind every strand she styles is a deeper story of purpose, creativity, and drive. She has earned her place as a trusted voice in the beauty industry, not just for her skill with hair, but for her dedication to uplifting women, building inclusive brands, and mentoring the next generation of creatives. From styling A-listers to launching her own ventures, she continues to shift the culture and challenge the status quo. Please welcome to the show the dynamic and unstoppable Angela C. Stevens.
Wow. Thank you, guys.
That's
that
you.
was such a beautiful welcome. I'm like, oh, who is she?
You know who she is. She's sitting right here.
Thank you.
You know all that
that
you
was
do.
beautiful.
Yeah, all true.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Did you learn how to do hair in Chicago?
Sure did.
You did?
I learned how to do hair on myself and on my mama.
What kind of hairstyles were you doing?
Back then, I feel like I mastered the feathered ponytail. I don't know if y'all
What's
know
a feather ponytail? Tell
It's
me.
basically like stacked up, and then it's like different layers of like feathers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like my thing in 7th grade. I used to lay
yeah.
out all of my little friends in school. And I just would play with like extensions a lot because my hair was broke off, from relaxers back then. I had about this much hair. And so
when your ponytail was like that?
yeah, I was one of them girls with the struggling ponytail for sure. And my mom, on the other hand, she had like pretty like, looser, wavy kind of hair. But she is like an artsy, fartsy type woman. So she didn't really care about how she looked. So I would always be like, come here, let me put your hair in a ponytail before you go to work. Like, let me slick your baby hairs. Let me do, just give her the whole moment. I was into products really young. And I just would play around with like stuff. I would play around with braiding hair. I would play around with tracks. I learned how to like, glue my tracks in and cut the hair with a razor.
Oh,
when I was like in 8th grade.
So wow. So I got a wedding coming up. Okay, how would you do my hair?
It depends on what you're wearing. Honestly, I always start with like what you're wearing, and then what's the environment. Like, is it going to be an outdoor wedding? Is it going to be at night? Is it going to be in the middle of the daytime? Like, and then it's more of like, how do you feel with certain looks? Like, are you going to be like in the water the next day or the day before, or like, so that's kind of how I.
No, because you can go curly, you can go straight. Oh my
Right.
goodness.
So it more so just depends on like the lifestyle of the client, the experience, what they're wearing. And then I kind of come up with a couple of options that make sense for them. But I don't just pull out hairstyles like, girl, you should do this. Because it's like the reality of if that's going to last, or if you're going to be able to maintain that, or if you're going to be able to keep that up for multiple days is more important than how it looks when you get out of the chair,
Right. So your styling and just kind of like your knack for beauty has kind of shaped you into you.
It has. I feel like beauty is like the biggest part of me, but then in the last few years I've been reshaped, and so it's been different to like define myself, because initially like hair and beauty was pretty much my everything.
Well, you're an Emmy award-winning stylist. What does that even mean?
Some claps on
that's a big deal. So talk to us about, was that part of television? How did that come about?
Yeah, so thank you so much for asking. It's definitely something that I never anticipated as like growing up as like loving hair and like wanting to be a hairstylist. You don't think about awards, especially like Emmys or Oscars or anything like that for the hair industry. You only think about actors receiving those awards. But when you do work in film and television, depending on the show you're on, depending on the film you're on, if it gets submitted for, makeup and hair awards, you have the opportunity to win.
Right.
So for a number of years, I worked as a personal for Eve on The Talk. And so we got nominated the first year that I worked there with her, and we won that year. And I've been nominated 3 other times. I also was nominated when I worked with Elaine Welteroth when she was on The Talk. But yeah, it's just been a huge accomplishment, not just for me, but for anybody who's aspiring to be in the field, to like see that and to be like, oh, you can have an Emmy? Like, oh, okay. I feel like it gives a lot of people just that little lift of like, girl, the sky is the limit.
Right. So you've taken that, though, into some amazing collaborations, right? You collaborated with Mael, you've collaborated with Cantu, which I want to talk to you about. So was it TV first that kind of took you into those brand collabs?
No, ironically, my first, I started off as an educator in Chicago. So I worked in Chicago for maybe
you were doing hair shows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I worked, I'm sure you guys know this brand, Salon Pro 32nd. It's the like glue company. So that was my first educator opportunity as a hairstylist. And then when I moved to LA, I was on LA Hair, and then I kind of circled back with Salon Pro, and that was my first like brand collaboration. Then I didn't get into TV and film probably until like 5 or 6 years later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I've always loved education. I think from my background, so my mother and my grandmother were both Chicago public school teachers. And so even though I didn't go into teaching in that regard, like I like helping those light bulbs click for people, like for stylists and for, everyday girls trying to figure it out. So that's kind of my niche. I think I picked that up from them. It's like I like to share the knowledge behind it, not so much of like, look what I could do, but like, here's how you do it. I like that part.
Okay. Well, let's talk about Cantu, though, because you brought us some goodies, some hair goodies.
It seems like you just brought Kimberly goodies.
Well, no. A whole bag. There's multiples. There's multiples for everybody.
So left out.
Yes.
Thank
so
you.
You've got to tell us how the Cantu partnership came about. And the line is actually Cantu Protective Styles by Angela.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
And it launched in 2023.
Sure did.
So how did that come about?
So I've done a lot of things in hair. So, sometimes I think when people think about a hairstylist, they just assume like, okay, you work behind the chair, like you take clients, you can do my hair. But there's so many facets and aspects of hair that you can work in. And so one of those other verticals for me was being a platform artist. So like standing on stage, doing education.
Mm-hmm.
And I've worked with a lot of brands from that. And then I developed a relationship with Cantu. And then that kind of turned into more of like they wanted me to kind of do partnerships, content creation, collabs. And, I'm a very opinionated person, so I have feedback. The girls are going to like keep it real. And, I've always like wanted to make sure I stand on how I feel about products. So, just having honest conversations with the executive team, I was like, hey, this is not working out. I can't, I want to help you guys like redevelop. And so I
Right.
came in with them as a consultant for about a year or two. And I would consult on like some of their new development products. I would test their products. I would write the copy and the captions for the ingredients and stuff on the back. And then at some point, one of the executives at the time, amazing woman, Nakia Bowman, she was like, we love your ideas. And like, we want to know, do you have any new ideas for like product development? And I was like, I absolutely do. So I submitted like 20 products that I thought should be on the market. And I think the biggest thing for me at that time was there were so many creams, gels, oils,
Yes.
for girls who wear curls, beautiful curls
Yes.
like you. But most of my clients and the girls that I know are not 24/7 wearing their natural curls.
Mm-hmm.
They're wearing braids. Sometimes they're wearing a sew-in. They might pop a wig on. They're going to do a ponytail. They're going to do a silk press. And so I needed products on the shelves that could speak to all those people who's getting locks, the families. Like I went to Chicago. I say like 50% of the people there had locks. I was like, oh, locks, like everybody got locks. The daddy, the kids, the moms, like everybody has locks. So my collection really was for the maintenance, the care, the styling, and the removal of, all of these styles that I mentioned.
So would you start your own brand now with the products that didn't launch?
No.
Uh-huh. Why not?
The landscape right now for, product lines, it's a little bit of a, aggressive territory right now for me.
Yeah.
I am developing other products. I don't know when I'm going to launch them. I think initially I was planning on launching them last year.
Yeah.
But I just want to like take my time and build community first. I think it's not necessarily about what I'm selling, but it's more about, people understanding my passion and trusting who I am as an artist and as someone who really cares about beauty and like the lifestyle of products. And then from there, I'll build on that. From listening to my customers, from listening to what other people want. Because again, like the landscape 2 years ago, the landscape 5 years ago, they're all completely different. The landscape 10 years ago is completely different. So like, I'm thankful that my product line has still been in existence, these past 3 years, and people are still discovering it and getting excited about it. But to say that I would just jump out there independently and do that, no, not right now. Not
Listen,
immediately. I'm not rushing.
you're speaking the truth. Hardest 7 months of my entire tenure. So
And you came out the water kicking, baby. I'm talking about products everywhere. Everybody was like, what, a black girl sunscreen? Like, I feel like you had a very similar trajectory as McBride sisters with the Black Girl Magic. Because we just want to see some stuff that's for black girls.
Mhm. We still here though.
Yeah.
We're still on that trajectory.
Exactly.
100%.
So it's like you got to go with the ebbs and flows. But I
Mhm.
feel like your representation and like what you stand for is going to always, it's going to always be prominent and relevant.
Thank
because
you. I
we need
appreciate
that.
it. Listen, I got smiles on my face. You wearing sunscreen?
I am.
Okay, good. At least that.
I have my 30 and then I slather my baby in the kids' sunscreen every day.
Go ahead.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Well, okay. So you brought up your baby. Let's
Yeah.
talk about motherhood, right? I mean, you've shared a lot. I follow you. And so I know you share a lot about your family, about your son who's deaf. What made you be so open and transparent about your personal life?
Yeah, it took a minute. Like, so I found out my son was deaf when he was 4 weeks old. But I didn't share publicly until he was 14 months old. So it took a while for me to feel comfortable to like speak about it. But I think through like group therapy and also whenever I was doing deep dives to like get inspiration, I was looking for, other families that look like us. And I didn't see a lot of them, I did. There's one girl, Tiana Myers. She, beautiful family. Her daughter wears cochlear implants like my son. And she has 2 other kids and expecting another one. She does like really bomb hair tutorials and stuff like that.
Can you tell us what cochlear
Implants are?
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so if you have mild to moderate hearing loss, you can wear a hearing aid because hearing aids basically amplify what you can hear. If you have severe to profound or like completely deaf as your metric, you can't wear hearing aids because it's going to amplify pretty much nothing, And so cochlear implants are devices that there's an internal part that goes inside of your head, basically behind your head, like in your not in your skull. I don't know how else to
Oh.
explain it, but you have to have surgery and get an internal processor put behind your ear.
Okay.
Then there's
So it's in. You can't see it. It's invisible.
yes.
Okay.
And there's a magnet attached to that internal processor.
Okay.
Then there's an external processor that receives the sound, kind of looks like a hearing aid, and then that's also attached to a magnet. So it sticks to the head from a magnet on the outside, a magnet on the inside, and then that information gets processed through a different channel than your typical ear canal.
Okay. So how much with the ear aid is your son able to hear?
He has a normal hearing range now.
That's fantastic.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, the technology is incredible. I mean, there's so much more technology that's coming. Probably in the next 10 years, the external device will probably not even be there, you know. And I think one of my biggest concerns was like, oh, my kid has to wear this thing and he's going to be othered and people are going to kind of look at him like, what's that? And, you know, that's not really a big deal. And I also don't really care that he's deaf. I'm happy that he can hear, but I also am just happy that I'm learning this whole other world of things that I wasn't privy to before, you know? So hopefully, you know, the technology continues to grow and improve, but he's doing great. We still don't have words yet for him to be 2.5, but he is hearing a lot in his environment. Yeah, and some kids, they have perfectly fine hearing and they don't talk until they 3 and 4. You know, so it's like, it's
true.
no rush.
Right.
But, you know, we count the day he was activated with his implants as his hearing age. So even though he's 2.5, he was implanted 14 months later. So he's like a 1.5 years with hearing. So therefore, his communication levels would be more on the same scope as like a 1.5 years child. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. That's heavy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But smiles on this side because it's being corrected. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not corrected. Just I'm giving him access to 2 worlds.
Okay.
He has an advantage over us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like some people will be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." It's like it's nothing to apologize about. You know, it's like I wish I could go to bed in silence at night, and I wish I could wake up and have a certain level of peace
I have an ignorant question
that we would never be able to understand.
Are you able to turn it on and off?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. So the devices have to be charged. They have to be managed. You know, I'm tech support. I always say that, like, call me IT Ange because I'm over here flip flopping through like these little devices and batteries and different ear retention and head retention. Because mind you, this is a toddler. So imagine trying to keep what is it called? You know,
AirPods
on a toddler.
Yeah,
that costs $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get into it. So you got to figure out so many different ways to like make them stay. And you know, him being able to speak is contingent upon how much he hears. So you can only express what you hear. So that's why children, it takes them about 1.5 years, 2 years to even formulate sentences because they have to hear all of that information first in order to then create the sounds, in order to then create the words.
You wrote a book called Hair, right? Self-published. And it was about, promoting self-love and love of your natural hair for kids. Would you ever consider writing a book about this journey with your son and hearing and all of that?
Yeah, I was saying back then I was going to write another book and I just never got to it. But I definitely want to incorporate, hair, and hearing and sign and speech into some kind of cool book for him, for kids, all over, but, inspired by him. That's definitely on my plan for the future. I don't know when. I decided in this season of life, like, I'm not pressuring myself to do anything. I do have a lot of goals, but it's not like, I got to get it done by this date. Like, I'm just coasting.
You're doing what's best for you.
Yeah.
In the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ready to play a game?
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen this before? This yeah or not game?
I've seen you play other games, but I don't know if I've seen this one.
Okay.
So Angela, it's a fun game. I'm just going to say a word or phrase and you just say yeah or nah. Like you do it or wouldn't do it, agree with it, disagree with it. So I'll say this phrase, you'll answer Shontay will answer, and then I'll answer. Okay?
Okay, perfect.
All right. Okay.
Going first.
First one. Wearing a bonnet on a plane to protect your style.
But wait, so I met Angela.
She was quick.
I met Angela on the plane. Did you have a bonnet on? No, I'm just kidding.
Can I curse on here? Hell
No, she definitely didn't have a bonnet on.
no, that's just not my style at all. No shade.
No thanks. No bonnet. I just wear things to lay down like my edges though as I'm flying, just to maintain kind of the neatness.
Yep. I'm a nah. Okay. Guys with a pressing curl.
Nah.
Listen. Go ahead, Kimberly.
Okay, I'm a nah too. We're all aligned. Okay. Dressing your partner.
Yeah.
He doesn't exist without my support.
It is fun. It is fun. Would you allow your partner to dress you?
So that's what I was gonna say. My husband is the fly one in our relationship, so he will style me more than I style him. I can still pick out stuff, but I feel like
Did he dress you today?
No.
Oh, it's cute.
Because you look really cute.
Well, yeah.
He was working today. I just put it together. I don't even know if he saw me, but yeah, usually he's like, no, why don't you do this with that? And, I like that. I've never had that before in a relationship. I'm usually trying to help them, but yeah, he got it.
Okay. Enable. No, I can't take that direction.
Okay. Yeah, he styles me all the time. He's
really
good at it. Oh, he's got an amazing sense of style. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Shout out to the men with the style.
Right? Yes. Would you allow your partner to style your hair?
Oh, hell no.
He can't brush it. What about the takedown?
Takedown, yeah. He'll help me with the takedown, but that's still a little sketchy. It's like, don't cut my hair. Like, can you see?
Mm-hmm. I don't want you to brush my hair. Not you, my partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe brush or,
yeah,
but not too much. Okay, because he has naturally curly hair, very similar to mine. Oversharing with your seatmate on a flight.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling in the world.
Really?
Because they don't know nothing. And then you never see them again.
Absolutely. And I don't like small talk. I like deep conversations.
Okay.
Like, I want to be like, hey, so how do you feel how do you feel as a woman in your 40s? Like, what does that feel? Like, I want to get deep. I don't want to, I'm like, how's the business? Like, let's go deep. Like, I don't want to be like, yeah, so how was traffic? I don't care. Like, what are we talking about?
Okay.
Listen, I love small talk, but because sometimes small talk leads into the deeper conversations.
True.
Right?
True.
But I am all ears when somebody is trying to tell me their life story. Like recently, this lady told me that she was flying across country to leave her husband. Her husband didn't even know that she took all her stuff, and her girlfriend was picking her up, and they was gonna file for a divorce from him. Kid you not.
I just saw a story like that on Threads. I wonder if it's the same lady.
Wow. Okay.
I was like, you brave, sister. Good for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one more.
Okay.
Would you do a reality show?
Yeah.
And would you want it to be around hair or just any kind of
yeah,
in a salon
I'm a beauty
or something
girl.
like
I'm
that?
a hair girl. I was on a show and I felt like if I had the option to do it again, it would be when I have a product line and when I have a book and when I have other things. At that time, I was just a hair practitioner, which is nothing wrong with that, but I wasn't able to extend that opportunity of being on camera to other things. So I would totally do it again.
Kimberly, you know my answer.
I know your answer.
My answer is yes, Angela.
You say yes?
Yeah.
Girl, here go the pilot right here.
You ready? You ready?
Yeah.
I want to do something like a Housewives of LA, right? Black Housewives of LA, but not
in the beauty business.
I don't want it to be about all beauty and business. It's about our lives.
And
right?
Our lives, our families,
However, I tend to be drama free. I don't want to curse anybody out. I don't want any altercations. I don't want you to be mean to me. I don't want to be mean to you. I don't want that. So we would have to make up some kind of, I wouldn't say corny storylines, but here goes Shontay's dog again, needing this. Okay, stay tuned to see what LaToya needs. I don't know.
Well, what I will say is
LaToya is one of my dogs.
Everybody, that's funny. You named your dog LaToya. That's hilarious. Everybody that comes on these shows, they have their own moral compass, I would say.
Yeah.
And you can start out like that, and then
You think I'm gonna get turned? You think I'm gonna get
between
turned?
that and producer manipulation,
Okay.
sometimes those end up being the best moments for camera, and viewers like to see kind of an up and down of emotions and people, and so if you are kind of just a lukewarm character, the show is probably not gonna be.
Okay,
you know.
fine. I can only be who I am,
Yeah.
right? But I guess I could share some things. Like, can you believe what this retailer did to me today? Is that enough?
No.
No.
Give me an example. What's enough?
So
What about you?
I would be watching your shows
Okay.
and cheering you on. Okay, so that's the game.
Angela, what's next for you?
Well, I mean, we already talked about another book.
We're making a show together?
We're probably making a show together. I like the way this sounds.
Hmm.
I am working on products. I'm just not in a rush to independently put them out. I want to build my community, continue to build my community, build my base, and then go from there. Learn more and go from there. So I love being a collaborator with the collection because it gives me the ability to like say like, look what I made, go get it, without all the rest of the you know.
I do know. Well, we'd love to hear it, and we're supporting you, and you do have a very strong community. So
Thank you.
whenever you're ready, though. And you're listening to Shamelessly Shontay.